It's DLC week here on the Mega Gamecast, and we're going to talk about the newest Hitman DLC, Marakesh in Morocco. This came out at the beginning of the month, or the end of last month. I'm not sure exactly when these come out, but it popped up.
It came out May 31st, Ryan.
So there we go.
Literally the end.
Yeah, the very last day, same day as the Witcher DLC, which maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode.
God.
So this is the third major map to be added to, or hit rather, to be added to the new Hitman game. If you had gotten the full experience, you would have gotten that for free. Well, not for free.
Yeah.
You would have.
Yeah, I was gonna say it comes as an instant download. It's certainly not free.
Yeah, it would have downloaded for you if you had upgraded after you got that first intro pack. It would have downloaded for you, or you could have paid $10 for it. That's up to you.
Does it take you a long time for those episodes to install?
I don't know.
Sai?
It usually takes me about 45 minutes, I want to say. Maybe.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
I think it depends
it?
on the internet connection.
Well, actually,
Well, yeah.
I don't know, man, because maybe I made the mistake of doing two at once, but I got Gone Home and NBA both currently installing right now. Maybe taking all day long, man.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Drew, but yeah, it's downloading two at once tends to.
Yeah, but no, I thought it would do what the PS3 used to do, and it would just go one at a time.
One at a time.
But it seems like it's trying to do both. And
Yeah.
Gone Home's obviously got a lead because it's way smaller.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you guys, but PSN network speeds are terrible. Like real bad.
Well, it depends. See, this is my biggest argument against all digital though, is because when with a PS4 you put a disc in it down, you can snap your fingers and it's downloaded.
Yeah.
But when you buy something from the store, it takes much longer.
Yeah, unless there's like a patch or something. 'Cause sometimes like Uncharted had like a 4 or 5 gig patch when I popped it in.
Yeah, but they let you play it without updating if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I just want to do a quick side.
Yeah, I don't know how long it took to download on Steam.
I mean, obviously these are just missions, so I don't think they take as long as a full game.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times with these kinds of things, they'll actually download patches too. So
Yeah.
like if they found like a big bug in the game, they have to download like a big chunk of the original game in order to.
Yeah, it's true.
They're patching old stuff and they're giving you new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this takes place in Morocco, like I said, and the setting is a little bit more public than the previous ones. I guess the first one in Paris, that was kind of a public event, but this is a lot more open, a lot more civilians walking around. You start it in like a bazaar with like vendors and civilians watching TV and stuff like that, because there's a riot going on basically outside of the consulate, right?
Right, the Swedish consulate.
Yeah.
And just to give you guys a little background, the story's a little more intricate. It involves a Swedish banker who basically is accused of pilfering billions of dollars out of the country. And he was standing trial, and then mysteriously his convoy transporting him was attacked, and somehow he was able to escape and to the Swedish consulate. And basically, the people are not happy, and they're basically starting a full-form protest.
Mm-hmm.
Also in this, who may allegedly be behind the breakout, is a general who's looking to impose martial law and overthrow the government to become the new leader. Now, Agent 47 is thrown right into the middle of Morocco, and is he doing this out of the good of his heart? No, his contact, his customer, is doing it because he's risking losing millions out of contract deals with the current government.
Well, I don't think he ever does it out of the goodness of his heart. So.
No, I know that, Drew. I'm being sarcastic.
Actually, yeah, I don't know. That in Absolution, they tried to make him have a little too much of a heart, but we can continue.
Yeah, so launching this one. So this is the first time that we've podcasted where I've also had the game. I got this game last week, I was able to pick it up on a good deal on Steam, and I kind of plowed through all of the missions just to catch up, so I could talk about it with Sai on this cast, and I'll talk a little bit about my experience with the previous missions after we finish up talking about the new one. But I found this one to be a lot more open. Actually, somewhat less options than I have seen in, like, especially the Sapienza one. Had a lot of ways that, at least that I've discovered, that you could pull off your hits. There seems to be limited ways to actually get into these secure facilities in this particular mission. Is that what you found too, Sai?
Yes, it is, Ryan. And again, I'm not entirely surprised. Again, the people are starting to revolt in Morocco because because again, it's a very dense, difficult political situation. I mean, because the government at the time is afraid that these protesters are going to storm the embassy, a la Iran with the U.S. embassy in 1979. Henceforth, everything's on crackdown. I mean, there are certain areas in the bazaar that are either held by the government troops or being held by the Swedish consulate troops. So, and again, I thought they did a really good job showing this event, because again, I mean, they can't make it too easy, because again, a political situation could slowly unfold based on the environment. Because I mean, again, if somebody in the Swedish embassy gets shot, it's an international incident. Same thing if someone could try to get in and take out the general. Again, it's a very dense, difficult situation.
So they make it realistic, is what you're saying.
They make it pretty realistic. Honestly, wouldn't have been more surprised if they had more troops guarding the embassy than that they have in this game.
Yeah.
But I will say that for what it is, for the sheer scale size of what they created, I thought they did admirably well. Now, again, I am not a military expert, and I don't know much about these types of political situations. This is why I wish Red was on the cast. Maybe he'd have some insight on it. But Ryan, overall, I felt that they did a very good job portraying the unstable political environment in the game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. I like the protest scene outside of the embassy. Looks legit. And they have, like, flares going, like smoke coming out, like just to draw your attention to it. And then probably, I'd say about 50 or 60 NPCs kind of like holding signs and yelling. And then not too far over, there's another huge open area that's like a market, where there's even just as many, if not more, NPCs walking around and like browsing and things like that. And that's kind of one of the larger issues that I'm going to talk about with this game. And this probably only pertains to the PC version. I haven't played most of this on PlayStation or Xbox.
I was gonna make a joke about it, but you're getting to it. All right.
It's the frame rate in these big crowded areas, and not even in. It doesn't even have to be crowded. It can just be a big environment. The frame rate drops dramatically. Now, from what I understand, this probably has a lot to do with the fact that I have an NVIDIA card, and this is a game optimized for AMD cards. When you launch a PC game, sometimes you see a sponsored card, basically.
Yeah.
NVIDIA
Right.
or AMD, and this is an AMD one. And it's just peculiar that the game doesn't really have that high of a fidelity to it. Like, the graphics aren't super
No, I mean
heavy. They're like,
they look good from what I saw.
they look okay. When you compare it to, like, The Witcher in terms of density,
dude, yeah,
like graphical density and just things in the world.
Dude, The Witcher still blows me away with how much detail is in that game.
And it runs so much better than
absolutely.
this game does.
Ryan,
on my same computer.
I do have to. Have you tried to drop it to 30 just to see if the issue persists?
There is an option in the menus that allows you to drop it to 30.
Yeah.
But it dogs the system even worse.
Really?
Like, it lags.
Oh wow.
You wouldn't even believe, like, even the menus. Like, I'm hitting up and down in the menus, and it took like a second for it to
Really?
even drop.
So it's
yeah,
like
it was,
delayed. Oh,
yeah, there's
wow.
something wrong with it. It's very poorly optimized on my computer anyway. I don't know if it's the case with everybody. I have seen like forum posts and things to describing what I'm experiencing. So I think it's
Just on PC though, or
yeah, I don't know.
Have
I
you
don't
read
know.
about console issues?
I haven't read
It
about
makes me
console
curious,
issues.
But
So that's just my little tidbit. If you are looking to get it on PC, and even if you have a decent rig, I have a 980 Ti and a high-end CPU too, and it doesn't run that great.
yeah, no, it should be performing like way better than it is.
Yeah, it should definitely. Like, Absolution performed fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their levels are smaller, and I'm sure the crowds
yeah.
are smaller, but still, though, like, 'cause I would imagine the console versions are all at 30, so that's
Yeah,
why
I would
I'm
imagine,
wondering.
Yeah, I mean, I could spend more time fiddling around with it, but
Yeah.
at a certain point, I'm just like, I just want to play this game.
Because even like Uncharted's campaign is 30, and I can almost guarantee you the graphics they'd have to downgrade the graphics to make the
Yeah, to get
campaign
it at 60. Yeah.
Because like it's weird the multiplayer runs at 60, but you see the drop in graphics. So
Yeah.
I mean, these consoles are still making compromises and stuff. But all right,
Yeah, so that's if you are thinking about getting it on PC, that's something to consider. Especially, like I said, I think it's an NVIDIA thing. So if you do have an NVIDIA card, you might want to poke around a little bit and make sure you're going to get a experience you're looking for.
still though they should fix the issues. And
Oh yeah. But aside from that, I thought this mission, at least the beginning, to be a little bit of a drag, trying to explore this place and find every little nook and cranny. In fact, there are things that I found after taking out the first target that would have made the beginning portion a lot easier for me.
Yep.
And I thought I spent a ton of time walking around the area trying to find certain things.
Right. Well, Ryan, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it is a little repetitive just to explore this massive area. And I would also argue that it is not as beautiful looking or as fun to explore as maybe Italy was with
Yeah.
Sapienza. But I will say that you're right. Once you get in to your respected areas, it is a lot. It is a lot of fun. And one of the hardest things about this, Ryan, is the fact that I mean, stealth is very difficult. I mean, you're in a high population, dense environment, and it's very and it can be very difficult to effectively
Infiltrate, yeah.
effectively infiltrate. Right. But again, I think that's also one of its draws because again, if you were easily able to infiltrate those areas, I mean, there would just be something wrong with it. It'd be way too easy.
Well, yeah, I mean, you want some kind of challenge.
Yeah, I guess it's not really. As soon as I was able to get the disguise I needed, it wasn't that hard to sneak in.
Now, how
But it
many-
was actually figuring out how to get that disguise because
Yeah.
at least with the other missions, there was at least a path that I was pretty easily able to find. It just felt like I was walking around way too long looking for stuff, and that could have been just me not finding the clue I'm looking for.
How many targets do you guys have to get?
This
Two?
was two.
two targets.
Yeah. I think compared to Sapienza, this didn't quite live up to the high point. I think that was, in my opinion, the high point so far. Do you agree with that, Si?
Sapienza, yes, I do, Ryan.
See, I guess
Just
that's
based-
what I was getting at earlier. Was like it seems like the overall opinion seems to be Sapienza
Yeah.
was the
Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of
Yeah.
in line with that.
Right,
Sorry, I
but-
didn't mean to cut you off. Si, go ahead.
Oh no. Right. I would agree with that, but I would also like to point out that this is not a mission you should miss. I think it's much better than the Paris mission. The Paris mission. As good as Sapienza? No, probably not. But then again, Sapienza was really impressed me with how much they improve. And I honestly see, Ryan, that this game getting continuously better. I won't go into too much detail, Ryan, but how do you feel about the cutscenes? Like, are you trying to figure out what's going on, or is this still kind of difficult?
That leads me to a question I had for Ryan. Since you're playing the whole thing just straight through, does it feel like a whole cohesive game, or does it feel episodic?
It kind of goes back and forth. It doesn't. One problem that I had with it is that there isn't a next mission button when you see the results from the mission you do. You have to go back to the main menu.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then choose
okay.
the next one. So that would have made it a little bit more cohesive if you were
Yeah.
playing it in one batch. But other than that, they do have a narrative that's connecting it all together.
Yeah.
There is something going on that isn't necessarily related to the hits.
Yeah, but it's like a story that
Yeah,
ties
but it's
it
something going on in the background.
Okay.
And I'm a little bit interested to see where it goes because there is like I said, without getting to too much, there is some questions that I have going forward that I'd like to see solved, that I'd like to see resolved.
Well, yeah, I mean, they got to find a way to keep you guys like interested in the actual main plot. I mean, I know the hits are like the bread and butter of these games, but
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny. Like now that it's episodic, now it's to the point where we're actually comparing and contrasting the different hits you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I don't think that would be the case as much if the whole game was by itself. You wouldn't really focus on
You wouldn't
one
have broken
hit
it
versus
down.
another. So I think it's like they wanted us to do this so we could all kind of, I don't know, it's weird. It's weird how they're doing it,
I'm still very skeptical on the price
Yeah.
prospect, especially like $10 for each mission or something like that. But when I think about the delivery of it, and that's one of the reasons why I ended up buying. One of the reasons is size, positive response to it, and the other reason was like sitting down and playing a Hitman game from start to finish, whether it be in an afternoon or a day, a couple of days or something like that, doesn't really appeal to me because it requires a ton of patience.
Oh, yeah.
And waiting around and stuff like that.
Yep.
But the idea of like sitting down and playing for a day, focusing on one mission, finishing it up, and then picking it up again in a month, that's something I feel like I'd have the wherewithal to do.
Yeah,
whereas,
so you don't like drain yourself of the game.
Yeah, you don't like, it's not just like one tedious mission after another. It's like you have enough time to recharge, basically.
Yeah. So you can focus on that one sole mission.
Yeah.
And then it's over, and then it's like, oh, next month I got a new hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see the benefits to it. I really do.
And if you want to, they're doing these one-off hits where they put a person, a different hit in a map, and you have one chance to do it, and I think you only have an hour to do it.
Yeah.
And there's no, so in the normal missions, you can use your Hitman vision and see the targets walking around the environment.
Yep.
You can't do that.
Okay.
So they show you like a picture, they give you a description, and then you have to find them in the map. So what this does is gives you the advantage of using all of your knowledge of the map to explore and find this person. And it kind of like, so one of the things that these games do, and they've always done, is they've all been set to a pattern. So every NPC, every guard, every target always has a pattern. So they'll always go over, they'll take that drink. So that's your opportunity to poison them.
Yeah.
Then they'll walk over here, they'll talk to this person, they'll go in here, they'll go in there, they'll go in there, and then eventually they're going to circle back around to that drink, and they're going to repeat it all over again.
Yeah.
What this does is it kind of breaks that because you don't know their pattern. You don't even know who it is.
Yeah, you don't know who it is.
So you spend some time searching for them, and then you have less of an opportunity to figure out the pattern because you can't track them.
Yeah, exactly.
You can follow them and stuff like that. But it just makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
And
realistic, too.
No, it does.
The
It
stakes
definitely
are
does.
super high, but
because you only get one shot.
you only get one shot. But at the same time, you only get one shot.
Yeah.
So you can't keep banging your head against the wall.
Yeah.
Once it's over, it's over. You're like, oh, well, I screwed up, but next time maybe I'll get him.
Yeah,
or
so it's
something
just
like that.
one-off chance.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool.
So that's a pretty cool idea, and it kind of gives some legs to it. And of course, there are challenges to repeat the missions.
Yeah.
They kill targets in different ways. In
yeah,
fact,
okay.
The Sapienza one, you can play a little bit of a romantic in that mission, and I found that to be one of the more entertaining ways to take out one of your targets.
Romantic?
Yeah, I won't. I don't want to. I don't want to get into it too much.
Ryan's not going to explain it, but I know exactly what you mean.
And I found that extremely entertaining.
That's funny.
And just made me really appreciate that game. In fact, that whole hit.
So the Sapienza mission sold you on this game.
I think so. I think that's probably up to this point my favorite one. Although I did enjoy, it was one of the training missions. It was the one where you were infiltrating the base with the jet.
The Havana base, the Cuban base.
Yeah, that one was actually kind of cool. It was small and not a whole lot going on in it, but I actually ended up having some fun with that one.
It's legit. Dude.
No, it definitely was Ryan. No, it definitely was Ryan. I mean, that was one of my the first times I played it, and that I actually really enjoyed. You really had to use your stealth. You really had to be. You really had to use your brain and figure out how exactly you could infiltrate a full armed army base and take out those specific targets. So I agree with you there.
Yeah. So all in all, I think this is a pretty good Hitman game. Like I said, I was a little questionable on it when they announced the price and everything like that. Yeah. And I still think the price is a little bit too high, especially if you're buying them individually. But as far as what you're expecting from a Hitman game, I think this is exactly what you want from a Hitman game.
Yeah, like it goes back to basics.
Yeah,
like,
it really does.
No, it does.
You are the Hitman,
Yeah.
You're Agent 47.
You are Agent 47.
It just goes, I mean, like you guys said, there's an overarching plot, but it seems like the hits have like the major focus now, and that's what, that's what major fans like to see. Because Hitman's always been known for the classic and clever ways you can execute your hits. So.
Just trying to see what the next one's going to be.
And the environments, too. It sounds like, these guys do a good job with making, good-looking environments.
I think I heard it was going to be Thailand, Bangkok. I think that's what the next one is going to be.
Yeah.
Let me take a look. Look, Ryan. I think you're correct. I think it is Bangkok, but
I mean, just think of it this way, guys. I've been playing a lot of AC, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and every assassination you get like three different ways to do it creatively. So
yeah,
at least Hitman gives you a lot more open options.
Yep, you're right. You're right, Ryan. Episode 4 is taking place in Thailand.
Okay, so that should be interesting. A new exotic location for Agent 47 to venture to and murder people.
Yeah, he seems to be going to most of these locations, Ryan, seem to be really warm. I mean, the training mission was in Havana. Then he went to Italy, into what's a very warm climate. Morocco, which is even hotter. And now the humid environment of Thailand.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have hair, so he's got to keep warm somehow.
Yeah, but still, Ryan, wearing all those suits, how does the guy not perspire?
Dude, is he all
cold as ice?
Is he even all human, though? Isn't he like half, like, something else?
Well, he's a genetically modified clone.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, he's like
So who knows if he even feels all that? Like,
a whole bunch of like the best genes from a whole bunch of things were put together into him.
Kind of like Adam Jensen and Deus Ex.
Right.
Not exactly.
Well, no, I know it's different. Adam Jensen's like legit.
Was modified through mechanics. Agent 47 was bred to be physically and mentally superior than other human beings.
It's always about the semantics.
Right.
All right.
I'm just being exact, Ryan. I'm just being exact.
I guess that's going to wrap up our impressions of Hitman. We'll be back next month from Thailand. Excuse me.
Is it
we'll
Thailand?
be back next month from Thailand.
Right.
Yep.
Nice. I look forward to hearing it. Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll pick it up in between that time. Doubtful, but
now maybe you could. There's no physical copies yet. So.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I might. If anything, I'll wait until it comes out on this.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
Anytime.
Thank you.